The tears started to come. Then the front door opened and he began striding over to me.
All right, so let's talk about the film. I have my reasons, but first, can you all just kind of introduce yourselves, like tell me a little bit about you and how you got into film in general and your background?
So my name's Mikey. I have been working in the film and TV industry for about 10 years. Um, it's a long story, but basically, I used to work at a bank, and um, I did some adverts for the bank, like acting in the adverts, and then thought this is just what I want to do, and this is what I want to do with my life. So I moved down south and started acting originally, and then moved across to the other side of the camera.
Awesome. So you started acting in
It's a long time
commercials,
ago.
basically, and then just switched to the directing and filmmaking. All right. Do you still do some
And
acting or no?
very, very rarely. The last time I did any was probably about 5 years ago.
Okay. Well, maybe your next film you could do kind of a Hitchcock thing and just appear in
Do a
your
little
own film for a
cameo.
little bit.
Yeah.
All right. How about Lisa?
Yeah, so I'm Lisa and I play Amanda in the film, and I got into acting. I studied performing arts, and I always thought I was going to be on the West End, but then figured out that I can't follow choreography, so I had no hope basically. And then I did some supporting artist work on some films and TV and really loved it and got a bit of a fire in my belly to do more. And the only thing that really makes me feel good is acting. So it was a no-brainer, really.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice. So you studied it, you said?
I did performing arts, yeah. So I kind of did lots of different things. Like I did stage management and like front of house kind of theatre-y stuff. Did the performance side of it, dance, movement, set design, all that kind of lovely stuff.
Okay. So you did a lot of different types of things, not just the acting part, like.
Yeah, I used to. I probably don't as much as I'd like to now because life is just so busy, and the acting kind of takes over, really.
Yeah. All right. Nice. And what about Matt?
Well, I started about 13 years ago now, just doing extra essay work while running my own roofing company. That's how I started. And it sort of just progressed on from there, really. Started to get my face a little bit noticed, met people like Mikey, different assistant directors and stuff like that. Found myself being a bit niche and being dragged into the tough guy kind of roles all the time, which I don't mind. They're great fun to play. So I like that. Working on this film with Mikey was nice to do something a little bit different, show a little bit of empathy because I don't normally get to do that. That's me, really.
Did you have a niche in mind when you started acting?
No, I didn't. No, I think to start off with, it was more like, I was quite happy to play all sorts, do a bit of comedy, heartfelt stuff, romantic, whatever. But I found I was getting pushed into the same box all the time. So I thought once I got there, it was like, well, maybe I should just run with this because this is where I seem to be going. So that's what I started doing. And as Mikey would tell you, all the roles he's put me up for have always been the same sort of roles. But
not always.
Not always.
There was
the
Bloods, the TV comedy. You were a engineer.
Yep. No, that's true. Actually, that's true. Most of the time.
Yes. It's kind of a blessing and a curse, right? To be typecast in a way.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can, get you a lot of roles, but at the same time, sometimes you want to do something different.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess how did you all meet each other?
Oh, go on. Who wants to go first?
I was going to say I met both Matt and Lisa on a soap called EastEnders, if you've heard of it.
Oh yeah.
And I cast both of them. Lisa was a bouncer at a nightclub, at a bar, and Matt was again a big dodgy geezer selling a stolen car to one of the characters.
Awesome.
Right,
nice.
Yeah, all met
Well,
at the same place.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about the project and like what inspired you, Mikey, to write it or did you wrote it, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
wrote, direct, edited,
yeah,
produced,
yeah.
cast,
So,
a bit of everything.
so what inspired you to write this specific project, and what inspired Matt and Lisa to get involved?
So, back in 2020, I just finished working on a job, and I was sat there, and Lisa messaged me and said, "Can you write me a monologue for a monologue competition that she was going to enter?" And I said, "What do you want it to be about?" And she was like, "Anything, anything at all." And I know Lisa can do quite a lot of like variety of roles and different emotions and stuff. So I wanted to write something that could really showcase for the monologue competition all the different things that she could do, um, anger and resentment and everything that you've seen in the film, basically. So I said to her, I'll write it, I'll send it over to you in about an hour. And she was like, you can't write something in an hour. I was like, I'll write it in an hour. 45 minutes later, sent the first draft over, and it was pretty much as it is now. And it was like about a page and a half, I think, wasn't it, Lisa?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you didn't use it in the end. And then it sat there for 5 years on a hard drive, and I was like, I think we should turn this into a short film.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
essentially, the character of Amanda was written with Lisa in mind.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with my friends that I work with in filmmaking, sometimes I ask them to do me favors, and then like it results, it doesn't like result in anything. It's like that felt like a waste for them. I feel bad, but like in your case, you were able to do something with it, so that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so how did I guess that explains how Lisa got involved as well. I mean, was whose idea was it your idea, Mikey, to like turn it into something, or like, and what maybe sparked that? When did you say,
Um,
let's make this into something?
yeah. So when Lisa said she didn't know what she wanted to be about, so I kind of just made it up as I went along, and it turned into a much bigger thing. And then I made a short film in 2023. And the guy who funded it said he wanted to make some more films, and I was like, I've got the perfect idea for another film, like a monologue. So I adapted it over a course of like a couple of days into what it is now. And luckily we had this guy who paid for the whole thing, so it was a £15,000 budget. And then obviously once it was getting fleshed out, and I adapted it into something that could work on screen. Because obviously the whole thing was Amanda's character was Lisa essentially talking to the camera. And I was like, I want to keep the element of that.
Hmm.
And then I thought, right, so now we need to introduce other people, which is why I said to Matt, you should come along and play the dad. Because even though Lisa and Matt are a similar age, obviously people that will watch the film and understand why that's not an issue in this case.
Hmm. But what do you think kind of made you write it about this topic? Like, what was it kind of random, or
It
um,
was purely random. Again, it was just a case of I wanted Lisa to be able to showcase the emotions, but also coming from a very working class background from the north of England, I like to write stories and characters that you wouldn't expect to react or respond to certain situations in certain ways. So in working class culture and in like the pubs and the type of place that we filmed it in, you wouldn't expect these characters to be so empathetic. It's usually quite like violent. And the films that you see that are usually set in with these kind of characters is a little bit unexpected for them to be showing like such emotions, I would say.
hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. And so it's kind of cool that you didn't start with necessarily like a premise. It was more like the emotions kind of led you to the story,
Yeah.
which is kind of like backwards in some ways, but it's a cool way to do it. Yeah, Matt and Lisa, have any thoughts on that? Like from your perspective, like what drew you to the project?
Lisa?
Yeah, well, when I initially got the script from Mikey as a monologue, I was, and I'm being honest saying this, I was absolutely blown away. I couldn't believe he'd written something so brilliant in such a short space of time. It was great, and it did, like Mikey said, it really showed or really gave like the different emotions as it kind of went through. But the struggle I had is that the competition was very soon, and I didn't have time to learn such an in-depth, big chunk of dialogue, which is why I kind of put it to one side and said, look, Mikey, I can't, it's no disrespect to you and your script, but I haven't got time to kind of get my head around all of this. It's too brilliant and it needs more time. It needs care. And that's why I decided to leave it, really, but I absolutely fell in love with it.
Were you pretty excited when he decided to, make a short out of it? Like,
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. I was like, that is just genius. Like, that's exactly what needs to happen with this, because we can give it the time, we can give it the care, I can give it the passion, I can give Amanda everything she needs. Yeah, which was great.
it's awesome. Yeah, what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, straight away, Mikey writes some amazing stuff. He sent us lots of different things in the past, things that he's just written within a couple of hours and stuff, and all of it is so good. So I knew as soon as he sent this through, I wasn't going to say no anyway, because I knew it was going to be good. And then, yeah, when he decided to turn it into a short film, and obviously getting to play alongside Lisa, because we worked together before, it was a no-brainer. There was no way I was going to say no. It had to be done. So I knew it was going to be really good. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had any other actors playing those characters. Like, they were essentially, obviously, it was written for you, Lisa, and then Matt. Again, going back to what we were talking about earlier on, I wanted to give you something that wasn't, smashing someone's head in with a baseball bat.
Yeah, made a change.
So, Mikey, did you write it thinking kind of we need this father character first, or did you think I want to get Matt into this?
So it was written, essentially pretty much everything that's on in the film was written in the monologue. All of the things that
I see.
Amanda's talking about, included the dad, and she tells the story. But when I was thinking, obviously visualizing it, the first person I thought of was Matt. I mean, pretty much every job that I worked on as a second AD, Matt and Lisa were in it, or were at least invited to be in it, if they were
Nice.
available at the time. And then, and it just kind of snowballed, really. Like, I was walking around my room, my living room at home, thinking of ideas, listening to music, and the only people that were in my mind at the time was Lisa and Matt, and then all the other people just kind of brought in around it. But yeah, it was definitely a trio
Did the script change a lot, like once you decided to make it a short, or did not change that much?
Yeah, so the original monologue, there was a lot of swearing in it. And then when I revisited it, I was like, it didn't really make sense, because Amanda she was very angry, and it just didn't make sense for the character. So that was the biggest thing that changed. The next thing that changed was, or the most important aspect that changed was the whole end sequence. So in the monologue, it pretty much ended where the character of Scott says, so you don't drink, you don't have kids. It's going to be about a lot. It wasn't originally a Christmas film either. It sounds like you've got an amazing. I can't what the dialogue was, but and then the final line of the monologue was Amanda saying, "I have my reasons." So we added this whole end sequence on, which was obviously the big culmination, the resolution of the visual story, really.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the things that stood out to me the most about the film is just like how well it resolved and like the payoff of it. I think, a lot of indie films they struggle with that, and it is hard. I've written some stuff, and that can be one of the hardest parts, just kind of tying it all back together and making it feel satisfying and complete, and like you know, and not just ending abruptly. I mean, sometimes that can work if it's intentional, but other times it seems it's done because they don't know where to go with it. And I liked how this tied things together. That was one of the things that felt. I like that satisfying feeling at the end, like, you know, the way it's tied up in a neat bow. So that's kind of what I liked the most about it, I think. But also,
It felt,
just wanna,
sorry, Dave, it felt really nice for me as well, like as an actor, to have something that I felt like I'd accomplished as Amanda. Like you want that as an actor at the end of a scene or at the end of a film, or if you're in the end sequence, you want to feel like you've got closure.
yeah,
And that's how it felt for me as an actor as well.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's talk a little bit about the process of like filming and stuff. Anything interesting happen? Any challenges? Any difficulties during that process?
I don't think there was really, was there? It all went
no, I don't
it
think
all
so.
went like super smooth. Maybe
Really?
Matt with his lines. Matt's having to learn all of his lines, which was pretty
Yeah, that
much
was a bit tricky, you
let's
know.
improv you getting angry. But no, other than that, I mean, I suppose the main kind of hurdle pre-production was there was another producer involved who doesn't live in the UK, so it was quite tricky to kind of coordinate things together. So I did a lot of it just me, again, just doing it in little chunks whenever I could. But in terms of the actual production process, it all went too smooth.
Yeah, no,
To the point where we were like, something's going to go wrong at some point, but it just didn't.
no, I agree completely. I mean, the three of us work so well together anyway. You know, it just naturally flows, doesn't it, when we work together? And everybody else
Yeah.
coming in, it just seemed to do the same. Everybody just seemed
Yeah,
to fall, it all just gelled really well.
We had an amazing crew who a lot of them work like professionally in the industry, as opposed to just, you know, let's pull our friends in and see if they can hold the boom and that kind of thing. But it was very much like everyone was taking time in between jobs to come and help us make this film.
That's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, I mean I think that's rare, you know, right? I mean, most times these film projects, like, something always unexpected happens, and something goes wrong. You know, the stuff that I've done, it's like almost always that happens. But usually like works out in the end, but it's a kind of a bumpy road for a lot of films. Do you have any idea why this might have gone smoother this time, or did you have more time, or how?
I mean, I adapted it from the monologue into the short script in, I think it was March 2024. So again, I used to walk every time I was walking to work, on the way to work, I would listen to the music that inspired me, and I would just keep on coming up with different ideas for different shots and different things that we could kind of do. So by the time it got around to film, it was just everything's there. It's all in my head. Me and the DOP worked together on the previous film that I directed. So like we had a really good idea of how each other works. And it only got better on the second film with some of the same people working together. I managed to squeeze, even though I didn't write the previous film, I managed to squeeze Lisa and Matt in there in a couple of small scenes.
You did.
I'll keep on bringing you everywhere I go.
All right, that's cool. All right, what about kind of the last question here, I guess, is like, what do you think you learned, all of you, from this experience? What do you think you took away from it?
Me personally, I took away the fact that I just want to keep doing more and more of this, because it's great. It's such a satisfying job to sit back and watch yourself on the screen and think, yeah, we did that, and people watch it like yourself and really enjoy it, and that means a lot to me. That's why I do it. So
yeah, It's amazing.
I think for me, I've taken away what Mikey has done for me is unbelievable. And he always says to me, "You don't know how good you are." And I've really struggled to believe it. But this film, I've started to believe it. I've started to believe that actually I can do it, that I am good at it, I am passionate about it, and I'm a good storyteller, and that's what Mikey's always tried to instill. So for me, I'm coming away with that extra kind of confidence to say I can do this.
Nice, that's awesome. That's
It's
huge.
same with Matt as well. I mean, I'm like happy with every aspect of this film. There's nothing that I would go back and change. Lisa, obviously, you know, your performance was incredible. Matt's, yours was incredible, considering you didn't actually say anything on the screen.
No.
But obviously, your character he's a vile character. And I wanted everybody to hate you at the beginning and absolutely fall in love with you at the end.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. Like, people that have watched the film have cried at that final interaction without any words spoken between each of you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of learning things for me, it's just plan. I've been planning my my next film since finishing this one. So again, walking to work and listening to the same 5 tracks on repeat, thinking, right, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. We could do that, and I could do this. Then it's evolved from again a small mini script into something much bigger with all kinds of stuff being added to it. So yeah,
That's
just
cool.
plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess just one other thing I've just thought of, like, do you ever feel like some really good ideas happen, like, kind of spontaneously, like something you didn't plan, and then just a really good idea comes out of nowhere, and then you have to change things, or do you kind of try to stick to the plan?
Um, in terms of on set, I don't think anything did happen like that. Did it? I mean, we occasionally tweaked dialogue.
Yeah.
And then obviously working in the space, because you can't really tell on screen, but the spaces were really small. But yeah, in terms of this, I always come up with little different ideas and things of trying and adjusting certain aspects, but we didn't really need to do that on this. I don't think.
No.
What about you guys? What do you think?
No,
No.
Mikey's got what I would call amazing vision. Like when I first met Mikey, even though we were essays or extras or whatever you want to call us, he would always give us a story, a purpose, something to walk down the street for, something to come out the pub for, something to talk to your friend for on the street. You know, there was always a story with Mikey, and I just really loved that. And there's not many directors that I've met that do that. And I knew I wanted to do a film with him. I knew I wanted to work with him. I knew I wanted him to direct me because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I remember that as well. And I took that away to me when I'd done other projects. I took away what Mikey said to me. Whatever I was doing, even, you know, being just an essay, an extra, yeah, I would always find something that I was doing, a purpose to what I was doing. And I just think that makes you a better actor. And you put more into it rather than just somebody walking down the street. You're walking down the street to go somewhere or to meet someone. Or so, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with Lisa on that. Yeah, the same.
It's the context of characterization. I remember the first time we worked together, Matt. You were selling a dodgy car to one of the characters, and I said, just take a step forward, take one step forward. And I said to the actor, I was like, Matt's going to take one big step forward. However you want to react to that, you know, obviously it's not my place to say because I was just third AD at the time. And he said, oh great, I'll do that. And Matt took this really small step forward, this imposing step, and the actor was like, whoa. And he reacted to that, and it just created a little extra layer of this guy is not someone to be messed with. Yeah, characterization is one of my favorite things when I'm directing or writing anything.
Yeah, and you're brilliant.
That's good. Yeah, I've heard the rule that, like, when you're acting, like, to think about what your character was doing before the scene started is like a good rule.
Yeah.
So you know, I've thought about that as well. In terms of, like, you know, the stuff that I do, I think I'm more of a spontaneous type of person, and so there's like good and bad to that too. But Yeah, I think I would like to be more like you in terms of planning things out more meticulously. But what's good is like the person like make films with, he's kind of like he's more like that, and I'm more of like a in the moment kind of person, and balance each other out. But you know, it's good to have that balance, I think sometimes.
Mm.
But I'd like to be more of a planner as like you. So, but
Well, I think as an actor as well, I think you can plan and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, but the moment it's time to go, things can change so quickly,
Oh yeah,
and you just get
yeah,
this feeling. So I kind of get what you're saying there, Dave, about the spontaneity and the planning and stuff. But you can do all the planning in the world, and suddenly it feels different.
yeah.
yeah,
I'm with you on that. You can be going into your part and you'll do it, and then you'll be like, actually, that's not right. You followed it all by the book, but it just doesn't come
Yeah,
out right. Doesn't come across right when you look it back on the screen. You're like, yeah, no, we need to tweak that. We need to change that. So
Mm.
yeah, I agree.
Collaboration. It's collaboration between everyone.
sure.
The whole hierarchy where it's like, well, this person's the director, so you have to do what they say. I disagree with that. I think it's very much, how do you guys think we should do it? How do you feel about it? What do you want to change something in, as long as it's not changing the story, but do you want to change something in the dialogue that would come more natural out of your mouth?
Yeah.
And it's a whole team effort. And obviously, like Matt was saying earlier on, to look at it afterwards and be like, we made that, we were part of it, and to be
Mhm.
proud of it, and everyone to be proud of it is the reason why we all do it, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's
completely.
a big challenge of being a director is like again that kind of balance of like being open to what other people are saying, but also having your vision as well. And
Mm,
that's something that I kind of struggle with. It's like sometimes I'm like indecisive, and that's not like great when you're a director, but it's like I'm so open to all these different possibilities, like, maybe we could do it that way. But you have to have
mm,
your vision too. So there's like a balance there, and that's where the planning comes like helps because you feel more confident with your vision. Sometimes I'm a little like, you know, I'm like, I don't know what should we do in that case. So yeah, there's a balance you have to find with that, I think.
I remember
it's,
actually, if I may, Dave, just tell you
Mhm.
that I remember as I was going through the dialogue and as we were kind of getting close to the filming, I really got in my head about it, and I got quite upset with my partner, and she said, "What's wrong? What are you worried about?" And I said, "I just want it to be how Mikey's visioned it. I just
Mm.
want it to be how it is in his head." And I was so worried about it, but when we got on set and I said that to Mikey, he said, "I want to see your Amanda.
mm,
I want to see what we've created together. Don't think you're not doing it my way. Think, this is Amanda. This is what I'm showing you. We've created her together."
That's
it's
good.
like,
And
remember during that final scene, obviously one of the most important shots I think of any movie is the final shot, and it was that smile to camera, and we did it, I think about 10 times in a
that's
row,
how,
and
yeah,
I was like, stop 1 second, and you were like, it doesn't feel right, and I said, just think of it. I can't remember what I said to you, but I was like, just imagine it's this, and then do that, and then you're just about to say something you don't, and you didn't. You were like, this feels weird, and I showed you it, and I was like, this is what I imagine, this is my vision, and that's exactly what it is. And you were like, I see it now. It's
yeah,
I think that's the whole collaboration thing again coming back.
Well,
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because I remember when you was doing that scene. Because I remember you approaching me, Lisa, because I do the same thing with young Amanda, don't I? Go to say
yeah,
something and don't, and you kept saying to me, "How did you do that? How did you do that? Look, what was?" And it's sort of like, you work together. You work together and figure it out. I mean, I don't know how I done it, to be honest with
Mm.
you. It just happened. But
Yeah.
it's funny. It's good though.
That's
It's
cool.
good.
Well, I wanted to say one other thing about the credits. That was a big standout for me as
Brilliant.
well. Like it
Mm.
was amazing. I don't even know how you did that. So, any any thoughts about that you want to share?
I bet
Yeah,
it was
so
brilliant.
the it was all practical. So everything was practical. We had an amazing production designer who made everything, made the graphics, printed it all out, got
Wow.
bottles, put the labels in the bottles and everything. Originally, that was going to be the opening to the film. So the it shows the outside of the pub, and then it goes in and it has one credit, and then it shows like a little bit of characters doing something or background, and then another credit, and that's how it was going to start. But it just kind of slowed down the whole opening because it was about a minute long before you even got into the acting. So we decided to put it at the end instead. But yeah, I've got the little beer tag thing that goes on the front of the pump. I've got that in my living room. I've got the apple juice box.
I've got the lemonade bottle.
Yeah,
and
Matt, you've got your bottle as well.
Yeah, I've got the vodka bottles downstairs in the lounge, on the mantelpiece.
Yeah.
Where did
I like
that
to do
idea
things
come
practically.
from? Like,
I don't know. it just came in there. I was like, instead of just having this text on a screen, I wanted something which was, one of the obviously the two locations in the thing is the house and the pub, and the pub is the bookend to the whole film. I was like, to have the names and integration into like linking the real world with the the story world just made sense to kind of amalgamate them in that way and put the bottles. And I just thought it was cool. It was something different that people would be like, oh wow, which obviously it's worked because you like it.
yeah.
I remember when you told us the first time, you said, I'm going to do this and put them on bottles. I was like, that's brilliant. That's so cool. I hadn't seen it done before.
I've got the bar mat as well. That I have my reasons. A Mikey Altoft. That's on my my bar in my living room as well.
It's pretty admirable when like filmmakers put so much work into something that will appear for such a short amount of time on screen. That's like a lot of great filmmakers do that. Like maybe one shot that is like so meticulous, but you see it for like a split second. It kind of reminds me of that. Like it feels like a lot of work went into that.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, but all right. Well, that's pretty much it for the interview here. But it was great talking to you about the film. I liked it a lot, as I've mentioned, and it was great to hear your thoughts about it, and your inspiration and all that, and how you met each other. So that was great. I look forward to seeing your future projects. Definitely, it'll be like you said, you're working on something, so it'll be cool. Hopefully,
Dave, thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Really appreciate it, Dave. Lovely meeting you.
All right, you too, everybody. Have a good
See you later. Bye bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye,
everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.